Rule 42. All persons more than a mile high must leave the court immediately.
1, 2, 3, 42.
Well, everybody, after our little brief summer break, we are back with new episodes. There's been a lot going on in Rule 42 land. So, ladies, why don't you tell us what's happening with you guys?
We've had some tragedy recently.
Well, we had nice vacations first. Didn't you? You went to have a nice time with your family and
I did.
On your cruise.
I went on a cruise. We were in the Bahamas. We were on a really big boat with a whole lot of people that were scaring the fuck out of me. Yeah, that was a great experience. And then I got to experience California, which was amazing, with some beautiful sunsets and fucking gorgeous beaches.
Yeah. So I was in Mexico. I went to Acuma,
Yes!
which is where my sister told me to go. It was like one of her most favorite places in the world, and I got to stay in the house that was like very important to her. It was a very it was like a magical place for her. It was this house on the lagoon. It's on the Yalco Lagoon, and there's all these fish.
And it turned into a magical place for you and your family because you had an amazing time there.
I did. I went with all my kids.
Minus the buttheads that didn't want to get in the lagoon.
Yeah. But we had an amazing time in Tulum, Acuma. And then, unfortunately, when I got back, my sister had, she was battling cancer. And she lost this one, but sorry, it's just like it doesn't feel real. But yeah, she unfortunately passed on last week on Tuesday. Audrey was awesome, and I flew out in the morning at and I got the call at 4 o'clock in the morning. I was on a plane by 7. And I got to California at 10. And yeah, but Audrey was awesome. She came out, and I had my friend there to support me during this crazy time. And we got to see, awesome beaches. And
We did. And I got to meet her family in Cali.
And meet my chunky baby.
Yeah, I did.
He is so cute. And
she has an amazing family with a great sort of peace about them.
Yeah,
through everything. There's just this kind of love and peace that you find in each other. That's amazing, and that's what family's about. And
it was beautiful. We had a nice ceremony for her, and a lot of people that
dude, the planning of this ceremony. So her sister, in order to understand this, was one of those free-spirited, amazing spiritual, just fun people that liked to enjoy life. And you could see that through the people that she knew and the experiences that she had in life. Because let me tell you, that is one thing that she was not lacking, was his experiences.
Yeah,
she traveled.
She lived life. She was this magical, just full of life, and everyone that she met loved her, and she was just friends with so many different people of so many different facets of life. They were it was interesting to see her her celebration of life that we did, because
it was a great depiction of her. It was a depiction of her sister. They were wearing outfits that her sister would wear, but her sister was big and glittery and
I had
just had this spirit that just
show you my outfit, did I, Audrey? So
did you change it?
Yeah. Oh my God! So that dress. God. So I go to Max and I find this dress that's oh my God, perfect! It's my sister. So I just buy it.
I literally have a picture of the sister in a dress very similar to this. Wow.
But I didn't bother to even try it on before. So the day of, I'm go to put on the dress. yeah, that shit won't go over my butt.
Yeah.
Like, it will not go down my butt. And I tried to put it like up and it wouldn't go up my butt. So I was just like, oh my God, so what am I going to wear this like sparkly dress now? Like as a shirt?
It's a t-shirt.
Like, it was like, I tried so hard to pull it down. I was like, dude, I know my sister is sitting here like laughing at
Die laughing.
dying because she'd be like, oh my God. So it was fitting that whatever didn't work. So I ended up these pants are here somewhere that are hers, but they're like this really bright emerald green, and they had a line of rhinestones going down the side, which you would be like, oh my God, that's a little like much. No, they were so perfect. And then I wore, the shawl thing that we got with all the rhinestones.
Yes.
I wore it's like
Yay!
her. And then I had rhinestone sunglasses, so it was very
Wow.
It was very her. It was very colorful. It was cool to see all the people. But yeah.
That's awesome. And it sucks. I'm sorry. It absolutely sucks. It's the worst thing. But we've all experienced loss in our lives, and everyone listening probably has. I know when my mom passed a few years ago, the funeral sucked. Everything sucked. But we did the celebration on the beach, and it was just so loving, I guess is the word. And it was just really, that we could take away. I mean, yes, we lost them. You could smile at the end of it, and I think that was really important because you could really feel that love, and that was important.
And
it's important for
how
our
many
process.
people love that person, and I think that says a lot to who they were. To like,
we all think we don't matter, and then when you see someone like go, and you see just like how a community builds around them, and you realize like how much of an impact we have on each other's lives.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think we all question that, whether or not we have any value to anyone.
Yeah.
Not just ourselves.
For you when you're
our legacy.
But look at you guys. You guys have your moms, so you have an incredible.
I told my kids they're never going to get rid of me because I had 6 of them. So eventually, just like statistically, they're going to end up. One of them is bound to have my twin. My doppelganger that is going to look and act just like me. And then that's going to keep happening because I had so many. So I'm going to live forever.
Well, and speaking of
forever in my favor.
Speaking of your almost doppelganger, so while you guys were in California, well, not that. Well, yes, that one. But I wound up taking it. We were in South Carolina visiting my family, and we wound up taking a quick road trip to Miami. And then as I'm on the road, Audrey's like, "Well, I'm not going to be there. I'm going to California." And I was like, "Oh," but we still went anyway, and we had a blast at your house for a couple of days. So
the girls were so happy.
The girls were very happy. Our daughters are very good friends, and that was really
awesome.
It was cool. It was a cool little jaunt for a couple of days in the middle of our vacation. So yeah, I was glad to be there. Sorry you weren't there, and sorry the circumstances, Jen. But yeah, it was cool to get down to Florida and see your fucking peacocks that peck at your cars and your houses. This is so weird. I've been in Miami before.
Do you understand? Everybody talks about, oh my God, I want to see the peacocks. I'm like, make sure you bring a BB gun.
No, they're assholes.
They are assholes. They will sit there in front of your car and not move. And there'll be like an army of them. So it's like, what do? You run them over?
And then one walked over and just took a shit right on the edge of the pool. It's like, there you go, take that.
Oh, yeah, you wake up in the morning and there's like shit lining the edge of my pool that has to be picked up. And it's all the peacocks. They're sitting on your lawn furniture. Like, what do you mean this isn't for me? We would also like to forewarn people that when we come back to things, we come back at them hard, and this is not going to be your typical show. No, so if you have a child that is with you, and you're listening to today's show, I would highly recommend that you wait or make it so that only you can hear it, because this is absolutely an episode that is not for children.
Yeah, this is going to be a fun one.
And this is coming from a mom of 6, and I talk to some of them about everything. So
yeah, now my son, like while we were recording, just kind of happened, and the look on his face was like, oh, so.
No,
they regretted being a part of that environment.
Yeah, I think
this is going to be a great episode. We're going to have Jennifer Summers on. We're going to have a great conversation about sex and sexuality and connection and all that. It's just going to be a fun ride. So yeah,
it's going to be such a fun ride, and we can't wait to find out what will help build our sexuality to a healthier place and get on that spiritual level and that emotional, physical level, so that we connect and get where we really need to be.
Yes. and
Or out of bed.
and like, or in the shower, floor,
wherever.
on the ceiling. But Audrey, in the Ferrari, like Audrey did say, that's a great disclaimer, because if you're a mom listening in the car with your kids when you're driving, don't stop now and let's do it later.
Yeah.
Stuff.
We can come back at you.
And we're back.
So, yes, and we are back, and we are ready to move forward, and we can't wait for you to hear our latest episode. This is Audrey.
This is Jen.
This is Rule 42. Thank you so much for listening.
1, 2, 3, 42.
Hi, Jen. Welcome to our world.
I love it. I'm happy to be a part of it. Thank you.
I am Audrey.
I'm Jen.
And welcome to Rule 42. What rabbit hole we go down today, we never know. I do know that I was actually super excited to talk to you. So, you have a very interesting story to tell.
I do, yeah.
And you are in a very interesting industry, because we've actually talked about normalizing sexuality and kind of having that type of conversation and not being ashamed of it or embarrassed about it or thinking that it's something beyond what you're allowed to talk about. We as partners, we all have different, I mean, I'm not in your head. You're not in mine. You have no clue what I want. I don't know what you want. I don't have your goodies if I'm playing with that sex. So I don't know how your goodies are responding to me. I know how my bits are. So enlighten us.
Yeah. So I'm Jennifer. I work in sexual health. I've been working in this industry for the last 18 years. So it all started when my best friend lent me Sex for Dummies by Dr. Ruth, and I was 14 years old. I was raised in a household where there was a lot of shame around sex. Like, we never talked about it. It was very taboo, you know. I was kind of like Catholic light, so we didn't go to church, but we were definitely religious-ish. And self-pleasure, masturbation, like, those were all topics that were off the table. So I read this book, y'all, and it talks about like the clitoris, and it gives like dating tips. And, you know, I was 14 at the time, and like my whole mind was blown. Like, oh my gosh, like pleasure is like a thing, you know? So the reality though is like, even, you know, at home, I wasn't getting the information. At school, in our family life skills class, where, you know, there was like very brief conversation around periods. It was mostly about abstinence education, about planning for your wedding, about when you get married, you can start a family. So, you know, a lot of mixed messages.
It's the old school way of being raised. That's how they were raised 10 times worse than that.
I know, they were a little more open by the time we came along.
Yeah. So I think this is the watered down edition.
Seriously. Yeah, and I absolutely recognize that, you know, our parents oftentimes did not receive that information. So, you know, they don't know how to communicate it to their kids. It may feel uncomfortable, or it may feel as if educating your children about it is implying permission for them to go out there and explore. Yeah. But I really feel like the exploration comes from a lack of information and education. Because if you're not getting it at home, you're going to go out somewhere and find it.
Then they start learning it off of each other.
Yeah.
Nowadays, they're learning it off of phones and the internet.
Well, yeah.
Screens.
Yeah. So, you know, typically girls are raised that it's shameful. You save yourself for marriage. You don't do those kind of things. You know, purity culture. And then they get married and they're expected to be like a XXX porn star in the bedroom. So there's a disconnect, right? And then I feel like a lot of men are raised as like they learn what sex is from porn. And sex really isn't like how it's shown on porn. So we have like the porn people and the purity people, and now they're together and they're like, what do we do? And people typically suck at communication. So that's kind of where I come in.
Communication is key in that department.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Especially in that department, right?
Yes.
But people are, you know, you can lay down next to someone naked, but not feel comfortable asking for what you want.
That's why there has to be like, I mean, I know that there are people out there that are just into like just having sex for the sake of having sex, but for it to really like do something that's like, holy shit, for me, there has to be like an emotional connection there too.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I call that spiritual sex.
Yeah, when you feel it in your soul and it's like you feel it through your whole body and it tingles and it's just amazing.
Oh, the best.
And yes, men, that happens. We feel it in our entire bodies. Suck it, and we can have it over and over again.
Yes.
That's true. We definitely feel it one time. Really feels great one time. And then it's time to go to sleep or get a sandwich. One or the other.
Go get a
Well, I think for guys, like, yeah, you can always do edging, right? And prolong the orgasm.
So now how do you open up when like you start discussing all of this with people? Because it was such a taboo topic. And nowadays people get all of their information from the internet. And God forbid you tell them that the internet does not tell you all of the like everything you need to know.
Yeah. Right.
How do you make that kind of jump from this is okay and this is where you need to go with like in terms of increasing your sexuality, or is that the direction that you go with people?
100%. Yeah. So there's a couple different things I do. I feel like I have my hands in a lot of like sexy, fun stuff. So the first thing is I'm a distributor with Pure Romance, and I do fun pleasure parties. I call them sex ed meets stand up. And I've been doing that for 18 years. So long time. I'm like definitely.
I have plenty of their stuff. So
yes, it's good.
Firm supporter.
Yeah, so I do parties, you know, I go to women's homes, I show them all the cool stuff, I educate them about their bodies, and I give them permission to have fun and have pleasure. So that can be by themselves or with a partner or partners. So that's like my main way, right? I empower the women, I make them laugh, they get to learn, they get to take home some cool stuff and have fun. And then the second thing is I started my podcast last month. It's called Sip with Summers. So
I saw that. Congratulations. Yay.
Thank you, Audrey.
Awesome.
Thanks, Jen. Yeah, it's so fun. I'm so happy to be in this new world, you know, meet all these cool people like y'all. And then the final thing I'm doing is I'm in school right now. I'm studying clinical sexology, and I'm going to be a certified sex coach. I'll graduate in February.
Oh, that's
And
amazing.
so I'm going to work one-on-one or like group or maybe even retreats down the line. But I'm really excited to help people work through some mindset and some body image blockages and feel more comfortable to ask for what they want and to have more pleasure. And I think that comes from permission and education and like getting more curious about what we might enjoy.
There's a lot that goes in with the age too. Because I feel like in my 20s, like, yeah, I liked sex and it was what it was. But I hit my 30s and I had the same partner. So it wasn't like a partner switch up. Like nothing changed with that aspect of my sexuality. But all of a sudden I was like insatiable. Like there was no like, what do you mean you can't have sex every day, all day long? Why? I don't know. I thought it was a hormonal thing. Not that that's what was happening. I mean, eventually I got to that point. But I think it was like more of a hormonal type of, I don't know. But it was so much more pleasurable for me than it ever was in my 20s. And then I hit my 40s and I thought, fuck, I just wasted my 30s. Like not really thoroughly enjoying my sex life. And then, no. It's so much better. And there is a component of that where it has to do with my, I guess, like age, because I am more comfortable relaying to my partner what it is that like my expectations are or what I want. And I'm not afraid to ask for it. Mm-hmm. Whereas like when you're younger, it's just kind of like, I was raised in that Catholic community as well. I went to an all girls private school. In high school. Yay. So it was just like, you just don't feel comfortable with yourself and you feel like you're doing something wrong. So you don't find that like, you don't get to that point where like now I'm my age, and I literally said to someone, which is probably completely inappropriate, and if this is so, Tommy, please take this out. But at my age now, like, way that I experience sex now is so far beyond what I experienced in my 20s that I don't get the allure for men to go younger, because I didn't know what the fuck I was doing, because I didn't know who I was or what I was comfortable with or what sex was really was. Because then again, once I started getting more curious about it, where did I turn? Porn.
Yeah.
What do you mean everybody's dick's not that big?
Porn is lies.
Like, wait, is that what my vagina is supposed to look like? Like, so you start thinking of all these things. Like, you're not supposed to have rolls there. Are my boobs supposed to go that way? So how do you get people more comfortable with actually being able to communicate with? Because it makes such a difference.
Yeah,
when you're able
it
to
does.
communicate.
Yeah,
So
I
how
think
do
that-
you address people that come to you? Oh, do they come to you singularly, or do they come to you as a couple?
Typically, it's single that'll come to me. I do have some clients that are in couples, but for the most part, it's definitely like single women. That's kind of like my niche, I would say. A lot of times I find that there's a blockage in their mindset of like a deserve level thing. Like they don't feel like they deserve to have good sex, or it makes them a whore or like something like that. So it's almost like blockages in feeling like leaning into that sexy role of like being a vixen is in somehow wrong or immoral, or their partner is gonna not be into it. Like there's that fear too. Like if I ask for what I want and they say no, like what do I do?
How do you get over that?
Yeah, exactly. And then it's like, oh, does my partner not, if I want anal sex, are they going to think I'm a freak or a weirdo kind of thing? So that's a big part of it. I also think body image too. I think that oftentimes, like, what you mentioned, Audrey, about like the rolls or, are my lips hanging out? Like, is my labia too pronounced? Like things like that, And
where did my clitoris go?
Do I have a little chin when I'm on top? Like, does it look
Exactly. And, it's something called spectatoring. So like that, what that means is, let's say you and your partner are having sex and it feels good, but then you start feeling like, am I breathing too hard? Am I making weird noises? Does my face look funny? And really, literally, you're like out of your body. You're like looking at yourself and you're judging all the things that you're doing. And you're not going to be able to have an orgasm or experience pleasure if you are like focused on what you're doing and you're not in your body. So those are two big things that come up a lot with people that I work with. And I do find that once we improve the mindset and also improve the body image, that will come with the strength to be more comfortable for asking what we want, because we're feeling better in our bodies and we're not so judgy about all of the things and then piling that on top of our desires.
I love it. Now, what do you do when it's couples?
That's why I want to jump in with a guy's perspective for a second.
Yes.
Or women, especially moms that run households and work and whatnot. I think a key, and maybe you can correct me if I'm wrong, Jennifer, is that they have to be relaxed, like in their head. They have to be totally relaxed, because when the weight of the family is on you, it's really hard to be that vixen you mentioned. So I think, I maybe this is across the board. I don't know. Certainly it's happened in my experience. But once the woman can relax, then it's like, okay, now it's go time.
I feel like being that, like, as a mother of multiple children, I feel like in the bedroom is where I get that chance to be myself and not have to play a role of like watching what I say or what I do or how I act, because it will somehow impact my children. Now I'm in a bedroom with someone that I love and that, we know where this is going. So why not get to play that role that I've always wanted to? And it's not that I get relaxed. I'm not relaxed. I still, like, my phone's still on. I'm still checking to see if my kids are calling or something. Like, there's always something that's going to pull me in a different direction. But for a moment, I just get to be not mom And I think that in a lot of relationships, that's where you get lost. You become mom to everyone, including your partner.
That's why I think Gus and I do we do our showers, like our nightly showers, and then we'll go to bed. And when we're like go to bed, that's our time to kind of talk and whatever. And then we can have our alone time at night, which I feel like that helps a lot.
Yeah.
How do you jump between so you have this spiritual sexual component of what you teach people, and now you're going in and getting a degree and you're becoming a clinical sexologist. Yeah. How do you merge the two worlds? So I would imagine they would be on different levels.
I mean, yes and no. So like the model that I'm learning is the MEPS model. So the MEPS model is the mind, the emotions, the body, image or behaviors, the energy, and the spiritual. And I do feel like it's all connected, right? I'm very into like chakras, and I'm curious about exploring Reiki after I'm done with this. Like, yeah.
I'm a Reiki practitioner.
Oh my gosh, Jen.
Practitioner.
That's beautiful.
Yeah.
But to me, spiritual sex is tantra.
It is. And
yes.
Yeah. No, I love that when you can feel it through every part of your being. Like it feels like you're exploding. It just like, it is a mind-body thing. It totally is.
Yeah. So like meditating together before sex, like that can become a very like sexy spiritual connection.
Yeah.
Or gazing into their eyes, or even like marrying your breathing. So like the breathe in and the breathe out kind of thing. Like that is very simple little things that you can do to get hyper connected.
It does help.
Try it.
Shit. I understand that I'm making like a dialogue and like I'm making a list in my head of all of the things. Okay, now meditating. Okay, we're definitely staring into each other's eyes. This is all happening.
Yeah, holding hands when you talk, like.
Yeah. Oh, I do all that.
Oh, I love that.
I'm like, I do all that already.
Yeah. You know what, though? A lot of people don't. A lot of people get very caught up in the kids and the work and running the house and life and stress and anxiety.
It's important to have your time as a couple. That's so important, because if you guys aren't healthy or in like a good mental space, you're not going to be any good for the rest of the family and the kids. And then you're all pissed off and
yeah.
I'm like, no, thank you.
Bad combo.
Very bad combo. So how long is this like? How long do you have to take classes to become like educated in sexology?
So it's an 18-month program.
Holy crap!
Yeah, yeah. I was talking to an acquaintance of mine, and they were like, "Yeah, I'm getting a life coaching certification. It's a week long. It's a 40-hour course." I'm like, "Oh my god!" Like,
wow,
40 hours, and you can tell someone how to live their lives.
Yeah, I mean.
Like, I feel like
no offense, but yeah, I'm kind of like, what? So I believe like the coursework is probably about 750 hours total, but I also do weekly peer coaching with my cohort 3 times a week, and then other like, webinars and things like that. And I become such a book nerd. So I talk about sex, I read about sex, I write about sex, I watch sex stuff, like sex rules my life. But I feel like I'm like a sex geek now. Like I like nerd out on like the science of sex and sexual response.
Amazing, though.
I love it. I love talking about it.
So I just have a question because you mentioned earlier about your 30s, and why is the cruel joke that men hit their sexual peak around 18, 19 and women do around 35, 36? Like, who designed that? Because that's kind of fucked up.
Well, it's actually a biological sexual peak. So it's not sexual peak in regards to like, this is when I'm the most horny and the most virile. It's more related to fertility.
Right.
So
that's what I thought when people talked about their sexual peak. So I'm like, shit, I'm not going to enjoy sex until like later in life. What's up with that shit?
Yeah, I thought that too. I was like, damn, I missed it.
Wait, so that's not true? That's not true? That's not true? Okay.
No, sex is good.
It's connected. What basically it's like, and that's where you separate like the clinical portions of sex.
Yeah.
So like during your teen years is your best time to have children. The older the male gets, the more prone to
bad sperm.
like issues occurring with the pregnancy, whether it be something, some type of genetic disorder that's transferred over, a chromosome being off. The older a male gets, the harder, or the more likelihood of
crappier his sperm gets.
No, listen, I definitely enjoy. I think I absolutely enjoy it. I enjoy it at like 50 more than I did at 20, no question, by a million miles. But I was probably a better performer at 20, I guess, physically. I don't know.
I don't know why men think this. Okay, so this is something that men believe. And let me tell you, the 20-year-olds that I have slept with were fucking boring when I was in my 20s. Like, they were awful. Like, as a teenager, I guess I just wanted more or expected more, or thought like when you were sleeping with someone older, that meant you were getting more experience. So like they were going to teach me something, and I kind of felt like I was teaching them shit. Whereas when I started dating older guys, was what I was like, yes, it's not supposed to last 5 minutes. This is, we can go all day. What? I like this. No, I feel like the older guys are the ones that realize, like, their body's, like, ability and what they're actually capable of versus what they think they're capable of. So they know how to, like, she had discussed before about prolonging an orgasm. Like, older men know how to do that. Younger guys don't. They're just like, let's get it done. Let's get it in. And like, then they think they can keep going. And some of them can. But at that point, you're kind of like, well, are you even enjoying this anymore? Like, you've already kind of hit your plateau. Like, you're just downhill from here. Whereas like the older ones kind of, you can tell, like, it's just something that's definitely enjoyable throughout the experience. And it's something that you're experiencing with another person.
I agree 100% with that, Audrey. A million percent. At 20, it's wham, bam, thank you, ma'am. And now it's like, I'm going to enjoy all of this and all this different shit we're going to do, and it's going to be cool. And if there's time, we'll take our time. But I'm saying, I think just physically, that's just being a 20-year-old versus a 50-year-old. You're just stronger at that point.
I don't know. I don't agree with that.
Not everybody wants to be rammed into.
No, of course not.
I mean, every 20-year-old is ramming into you. I mean, I've had sex with a bunch of 20-year-olds when I was younger, and we had some awesome sex. And it did last long, and we did play with lots of toys and try different things. But I feel like it's the person, like, and what they are looking like as a couple or a throuple or however many are.
But again, if you're not willing to communicate with the other person that you're looking for more, and at a much younger age, you're typically not. Maybe you were way more like vocal at a younger age, but when I first started, I had no clue. Like, it was something that you weren't allowed to talk about. It was something like, I was the girl that you had sex with a shirt on. Like, you didn't take I had like a lot of sexual trauma growing up, and it didn't correlate into something where I suddenly wanted to experience it in better ways to block out everything else. It was, how do I hide myself and just get this done and over with? And now that I'm older, it's, no, I want to enjoy this time. I want to enjoy this experience, and I want to have fun with it. And that's what I'm doing now.
Love that for you. Everyone needs that. That is like having a sexy health, like a good sex life is so important.
It is so much fun.
Yeah. I mean, look, you're literally drinking wine in a Ferrari. Like, that's what a good sex life does for you.
Wait, really? Where are the Ferraris?
Tom's like, I have the wine.
It's wine right here.
I didn't get a Ferrari. I had good sex.
I know.
Come with the sex. But I also think one thing that's really important is the older you get, I think there's a rule for anything is you just give less fucks. And that's very
yes. I can't wait to hit 50. I can't. Everyone has told me the same thing. You hit 50 and all of a sudden, nothing fucking matters. It's not that it doesn't matter. You realize that you are a priority.
All that dumb shit you used to worry about is gone. It's gone. Yep.
Enjoy it. have fun with it. Just
So like, yes, I'm having sex and I'm going to do all sorts of shit and it's going to be fun. Let's go. Who gives a fuck? You know, that's where I think the change is. From when you're 20, you're worried about what anyone's going to, you know, what if this gets around to everyone else that, you know, this happened or whatever.
It's
So I
the
think-
shame.
Yeah.
It's the embarrassment. It's the it will follow you, the reputation. Like, we were raised that our reputation is very important, and you don't sleep with anyone you work with, and you don't sleep with anyone from the neighborhood.
Like,
Whoops.
And then when you did, it's like, oh shit. And then when it goes bad, everybody goes, that's why you don't sleep with nobody from the neighborhood. Or then they go, that's why you don't sleep with people you work with. And you're like, well, I mean, everybody breaks up eventually at some point when they're this young. So odds are to fall in that category at some point.
That's how you learn.
It is. So tell me, what can you teach us to help better our sexuality or experiences that maybe we wouldn't know?
Ooh, that's such a good question. Wow. Let me think for a moment. Well, I think first of all,
experience it.
yeah. The first thing that comes to mind is the reminder that solo play is the foundation for all partnered play. So I think self-pleasure is always on the menu. One of the biggest issues I get from couples is mismatched desire. So what that looks like is one partner wants to do it, let's say 6 days a week. The other partner wants to do it 3 days a week.
oh no.
60% of women want it more than men, than their male-bodied partner. So if you're, you know, in a relationship and you're a lady and you want it 6 times a day and your partner wants it 3 times a day, like, or, well,
Wait.
we know, you know what I'm saying. Oh, yes. Mismatched desire. A way that you can overcome that issue is by solo pleasure, because, you know, you do 3 times a week with your partner, and then those other 3 times you can enjoy some solo play, maybe some, you know, have your partner with you or without you, but that way you're getting your needs met, you know. That's
Can I
definitely
tag
the
in
first
here?
thing. Please, always.
Because I'm having an issue here. So self-pleasure became something that I became very familiar with. And then now in the relationship I'm in, self-pleasure has become something that's become more of a chore for me, as opposed to a pleasurability, almost like a way to put myself to sleep. I don't know if that makes sense. But it's not, my body's not responding the same way. It's almost like because he's not there, my body's just like, meh, I'm good. I don't like that. I hate that. I feel like it's some sort of like control. You know how they say like when a guy's like pussy whipped? So I feel like my pussy betrayed me. Because I feel like the opposite thing happened.
You're like, I don't want this right now.
Yeah,
And look, you don't want it. You don't have to do it. Like, you
oh no,
know,
I want it.
that's
I just
okay.
don't want it solo.
Sure. I mean, I would always prefer to have a partner present too, but, you know, life doesn't always work that way. I mean, a couple of things come to mind here, like my intuition, my gut's just saying, like, maybe you need a different device to play with, like a different buzzy. Another thing is that if you're on any type of medication, that can also affect your libido and your desires. So like anti-anxiety, antidepressant, blood pressure medication, birth control, allergy medicine. Like, there's a lot of medications out there that can really throw you off.
Everything that Audrey's on.
Check.
So that
I knew those doctors were leaving a lot out.
right. Yeah, they often don't tell you that, you know.
Major side effect.
Yeah. I'm not saying like don't take your medication, right? But because you should do that. But like there's different like arousal creams that I carry that will help with women because it creates more oxygen and more blood flow to the clitoris. So that gets you more aroused and more excited, especially if like the desire in your brain is not matching the desire in your vulva.
Yeah,
So that's a tip.
that only occurs with solo play. So like maybe this cream would work for solo play, but if it works for solo play, then I'm going to want to use it in real play.
Or
Oh,
pizza.
I got one because I've had a guy tell me this. I've never had a woman tell me this, but I have had a guy tell me that using a vibrator too much can desensitize you.
Yeah,
No,
that's
that's not
100% scientifically false. No.
Oh my God. He lied to I'm gonna punch
he
him
got-
in the face. I gotta find him.
Jealous. I was jealous.
He probably saw it in a meme on like Instagram or something like that.
Shut up. And I have used that as Bible truth. I'm like, oh my God, gotta stop masturbating. Gonna have sex and don't want to have to, desensitize that shit. Damn it. Liar.
No, it's not desensitizing.
No.
I mean, sometimes it's a more efficient way to have an orgasm, but you're never going to get to a point where you are going to be unable to orgasm because you're using a vibrator.
You hear that, lady?
You
hear that? Do it all day.
Clap your hands, and your hands start hurting when you're clapping.
Yes.
Same idea.
Count.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, we're gonna send everybody to you. Pure romance. Over to Jennifer. She got you. Personal lube, different types of toys, all sorts of ways to experience these things.
Yeah, I'll send it on my website if you want to put it in the show notes.
Sure.
Oh,
We'll-
yeah.
Oh, we definitely will. Well, I end up actually getting all of you any way that anybody could reach out to you that has any questions. You're going to be doing coaching soon, so you'll definitely get some people reaching out to you for that. So we'll definitely, once we're done, Tommy will get everything from you. You can shout it out on here as well, and we'll get people definitely directed to easy access to you. Because everybody needs to experience that full body, head to toe, leg shaking orgasm. Also, squirting. It's a real thing.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. It's not pee. Just let it go.
Well, it's uric acid, right?
No. Well, okay. I was doing this research because I've recently become
Intrigued.
a member of this society. So
Wait.
I was like, fuck, am I peeing? Because I did not realize that much stuff could come out of the female body. So I started researching like a motherfucker because now I'm like, oh my God. No, it literally oh my God, but it's such a great sensation. But no, there's a gland. It's almost like a man coming. There's a gland in there, and there's a whole scientific clinical thing behind it, but it's not really pee.
Yeah. No, it's
It's the Bartholin gland, and then you have the Skene's glands, which male and female anatomy is literally the same thing, just organized in different ways. So men have a Cowper's gland, which is where the semen does its thing, and the women equivalent was the Skene's gland, which is where we ejaculate from, where we squirt from. But the bladder is the receptacle. But if I were to give you a medication to make you pee a lot, you still would not produce the same amount of fluid that you get from squirting.
Yeah.
It's not pee.
Yeah.
It's a lot.
It's a lot.
It's when you're trying to protect yourself from it, you're like, wait, what's happening here?
See, but I want a partner that is literally trying to catch that shit like a water fountain.
Oh my God, he does. But I'm like, God, stop that. That's gross.
It's in what is it?
Duck and weave.
It's considered the nectar of the gods. It's called Amrita. They consider it the fountain of youth.
Ooh.
Nice.
Oh man, I can't tell him that. Then he'll never stop. Oh my God, but it is once you start in that direction, it's a lot easier for them to make it happen. He can literally feel when I'm at the peak and just be like, all right, we're going to do this again. And I want to say maybe in an hour, it happens a lot.
Yeah.
And then I'm kind of at that point where I'm like, I'm done. I literally don't touch me.
Yes. There is no fluid left. I'm literally dehydrated.
I need a gallon of water, some Gatorade, a protein bar, something.
A little bit of everything.
So is there anything else that you can teach?
Ooh. Well, I recently did a yoni gazing ceremony. Have you all heard of that before?
No.
Basically, you put on some calm music, light some candles, put on a little sexy piece of lingerie, and get yourself a mirror. And, you know, you want to have like 30 minutes uninterrupted solo, but give yourself some time to lay back and use that mirror to explore your vulva. So looking at the outer lips, the inner lips, rubbing, you know, massaging yourself externally, looking at your clitoris, like touching that in different ways. So like tugging on it or flicking it, looking at your urethra. We have 3 holes down there, you know? And then moving down to the vagina and just really mindfully exploring yourself and getting in tune with yourself. I think a lot of us have not looked at that before. And it's such a beautiful thing to witness and explore and experience. And, you know, even like smelling yourself, tasting yourself, that can sometimes overcome these feelings that like we smell bad or we don't taste good. Like when you're experiencing it yourself, it really empowers you in your body. And then, you know, when you're feeling good, like maybe you can invite your partner to explore as well and tell you what they see and create that connection.
I like this.
Yeah, that was very nice.
And then what about the guys? Because I know that, like, I mean, we as women have our own insecurities, but men have them too. They're just not as vocal as we are about them because they view it as a weakness. Where we viewed it as shame or something to be embarrassed of, they view it as not being manly enough or a weakness if the performance isn't whatever, and don't realize that communication is so important. So what's a key component or what's a key way that you would be able to speak to a male about being able to open up? Because again, both partners have to be receptive to the communication part in order for it to work.
Oh, that's a heavy question. Like $64,000 question. I mean, let me preface this by saying, like, I primarily work with women. Mm-hmm. I still am, like, learning techniques to work with men. But, like, the biggest things I hear from men often are around their body image. Like, they think their penis isn't large enough, and they have a lot of shame around that. That's one big thing. And I think knowing that the average penis size is 5.5 inches when it's fully erect. And I believe it's 3 inches girth. Like, when you see like an average size penis, you can say, oh, you know, there's nothing wrong with being average, right? The other thing that I see a lot is erectile difficulties, which that creates a lot of issues too. For a lot of men, as they age, when, you know, if they have diabetes or heart disease, that can cause erectile issues. But also for younger men, when they were self-pleasuring when they were young, they often would do it quickly so they didn't get caught by a parent or a sibling. And so they carry that into their adult life where they're finishing too quickly because they've like trained themselves to finish quickly.
Oh,
you know?
It does.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, which, by the way, if anyone's listening and has young boys or young girls, like, just tell your children to go to their room. It's totally natural and normal for everyone to explore. But, you know, you don't want to give them any shame or like interrupt them because that can create issues in the future. But for guys specifically, you know, there's different techniques that they can do to help prolong their erection. And one of those is solo play. So that would be masturbating, self-pleasuring to the point of not no return, but like right before the no return, and then stopping. And then doing that a few times, because what that does is that helps build up the length of how long you're going to last.
That makes sense.
And then when you're with your partner, that can help too. But like, there's also things like constriction reins that will help to prolong and also provide both partners pleasure. But truthfully, I really feel like the biggest issue I see from men and women often comes down to the way they think about themselves and the way they feel in their bodies. And so oftentimes when we can overcome the mindset stuff and the body image stuff, then they feel more comfortable with pleasuring themselves or, you know, partners.
I love it. Yeah, it's all about being in the right mindset. But that's with anything in life.
Yeah, totally. Mm-hmm.
Like, I read something where it was like, if you tell your mind, that something is going to turn out in a negative, then that's all your mind's going to look for is the negative components of what happens throughout your day. If you tell your mind that you're going to have a positive experience or a positive day, then that's the area that your mind concentrates on all the positive aspects or components of your day. And I feel like that just goes hand in hand with having a healthy sexual experience in life.
Yeah. Perception is reality.
Yeah.
Yes. But we have to remind people because you know what? Common sense ain't so common.
No, it's so scary.
But there's a reason that like there are people that specialize in each area or different components in life. Like Tommy is a great producer. He knows that business. It is what he does. It's the industry that he's in. Like he put the time, the work, the hours, the education to get what he knows. And obviously we're not all going to do that because that's not where we're all driven. You've put that time into learning about sexuality and learning how to build that between partners and learning how to connect them and make it something that's not just like beyond spiritual, like a connection that's just there. And it's something that people, maybe the ones that can experience, take it for granted, but not everybody experiences these like sexual awakenings. That's why there are people out there that spend the 720 hours on getting an education to be able to help people out there. But again, it's so important, and getting the life coaching done. And it's so hard now to get a proper therapist. The wait lists are so long. The prices are so expensive. And a lot of times what people need help in is an individual field in their life or like, or specific field in their life. And when you have someone like you, that's what you specialize in, if it were a sexual type of deviation in their life, then they have someone like you to turn to. Whereas if you just go to a straight therapist, then you're breaking down every component or every aspect of your life and then trying to figure out and build from there. You know, when you're 50 years old, you don't have fucking 10 years to figure out why your head is the way that it is so that you can then work on it at 60. You want to know, how do you fix your sex life right now?
Yeah.
And that's where you would come into play. And that's why, like, I appreciate people like you, because I know I don't have the patience to sit there and put all those hours into learning about sex. I think the guy should. No, just kidding.
Yeah, I always say I read the books so you don't have to. But, you know, I agree, like, therapy's great. I really benefited a lot from going to therapy. But, you know, therapy is very much like pathologizing the issue. And coaching is more about, like, where are you right now? Where do you want to go? So
I'm just a little bit concerned about the edging, though. I think I like the idea of it, but I also hate the idea of blue balls. And I think that would be something to overcome. So it's just,
I know I'm turned on and I want to go call like my partner and see what he's doing.
I think everyone's going to run into that. Like, hey, where are you?
Shower time.
it's a side effect of talking to me.
We got to try something out. I need to stare at you for a little while.
Exactly. Yes.
I need you to become familiar with vagina things.
Some gaze in my vagina.
Yes. I've been doing it for half an hour. It's your turn. It's about how long it'll take you to get here.
Yes. I'm here for that.
I think, though, that it's important to get over this fear, guilt, shame that everybody has. And I think once you can get rid of that, then it becomes easier. Because even now, we're sitting here and we're all parents, and the three of us are just giggly talking about this. So it's like something we obviously are into.
No, but that's what I was getting to. I mean, I think I'm like that right now because I'm just in a different place in my life. But Jennifer, we'll take any points from you.
Well, you're not going to get blue balls from edging.
To prolong it. Okay, yes.
Yeah, we're helping men right now.
Oh, yeah, you remember when you're younger and they would tell you, bro, you're going to give me blue balls. Fucking liars, man.
No, that's a real thing. That's absolutely a real thing.
So, okay, you're a guy. There's 3 women here. Blue balls. Tell us all about it.
Absolutely a real thing. And
okay, how long?
It could take a little while.
What causes it?
not finish.
How bad does it hurt though? Like,
listen, we don't have.
how bad does it hurt?
We don't
Like,
have-
Where does it hurt?
We
Or more than a period.
Okay, I would say it's
can
probably
you
like
walk down some stairs with some blue balls?
yeah. I think it's like period-like symptoms, not like the really bad ones, but it's
Oh
just
my
it
god,
hurts.
like a cramp?
Like you get cramps?
It's
It's like a vice grip. It feels like a vice grip. You're like and then it hurts. It definitely hurts.
See,
It
but
hurts.
that's just it. Like,
That's
you know how many times you men vice grip our titties?
Oh my
And that
God,
doesn't
yeah,
hurt. So
like,
is it the same thing?
No, the balls are sensitive, very sensitive.
Oh, I
So
know.
we're
Very
nipples.
Sure, fair.
No, not as sensitive as balls, because sometimes if you tug them that wrong way, that hurts.
You tug my titty the wrong way, that shit's gonna hurt too.
Mm-hmm.
Oh my
Should have been a late night one. But yeah, it's definitely a thing. It definitely hurts, but it's not as bad as what you guys go through.
Oh yeah, how long does it take to go away?
It resolves on its own. Maybe Jennifer could speak to this, but usually you could also just finish and then you're good.
Fucking assholes! They make
Yeah.
you think that if you don't make them finish, they can't. That blue balls forever.
no,
No,
that's false.
It goes away.
Yeah. Once they ejaculate, it resolves itself.
Yeah.
Don't have a bit. Okay, you hear that, ladies? Blue balls resolve themselves. Just have them jerk off.
Not that bad.
Oh look, it's my 5-year-old.
There we go. It's a family. That's how they got here, right?
Yeah, I know. I got.
Well, no, that's the problem. It didn't end with a jerk off.
There were no blue balls. It finished.
There were no blow ball. Yeah, no prolonging, nothing. Okay, Jennifer. So it has been such a pleasure meeting you. What ways can our people get out to you and reach out? Anyone that has any questions, anyone that might be looking into getting a life coach for their sexual needs, how can they reach out to you best?
Yeah, so I'm online at selfmadediva.com. I'm also on TikTok and Instagram at the Selfmade Diva, and on Facebook, Jennifer Marie Summers. I have a private ladies only group on Facebook, so it's a great safe space and a resource for women to have a sense of community. I do my pure romance parties within 2 hours of the Washington, D.C. area for ladies over 18. And then my email is dcpassiondiva@gmail.com. So feel free to reach out by email or social media.
And we'll have your Pure Romance link connected to our site once Tommy gets this podcast posted, so that people can reach out for their sexual pleasuring tools. Directly.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you so much for being a part of our awesome-tastic Friday. And welcome to this rabbit hole. Again, I'm Audrey.
I'm Jen. It was really nice meeting you, Jennifer.
Yes, thank you so much. This was so fun.
And you for giving us such a great education. Because let me tell you, I'm 40 years old, and there's some stuff that I learned today that I'm just like very annoyed with some people, and they're about to get some phone calls. So thank you again.
You are so welcome.
1, 2, 3, 42.
Oh my God. So that was so much fun having Jennifer on our podcast today. Like, I really literally learned stuff that I've for very many years believed to be true information that turned out to be false. So I'm a little annoyed. I'm not a little annoyed by that. I'm like actually really annoyed by that. Do you know, and not that I fell for it, but do you know how many men use that line of, I'm going to end up with blue balls. You want me to be in pain? Luckily, so this is where the all-girls school comes into play. They had told us if any guy ever said that, to ignore them. Not to ignore them, that it is something that they go through, but it's something that they can deal with. They never elaborated how they could deal with it, and I just never, put two and two together.
Well, it's definitely true. It absolutely, but it's not like a 3-week thing. They're not going to be.
No, they make it seem like it's something that if you don't like finish or like get them to the end, they're going to be in this excruciating pain that you have caused, and it's going to take days for them to get over it.
They are going to be, but it's selfish. So they don't want to go in the bathroom and do it themselves. They want to.
No, they want you to do it.
But that's the cure. That's the cure to it. You know, I got real close. Oh, and now you're gonna leave me hanging. Great. But it's like, just go take care of it in the bathroom, and you're good.
Go to the bathroom real quick.
But
and then we'll be on the same page again.
But it absolutely hurts. It's a real deal. Any guy listening will tell you, it definitely hurts. It's like they're in a vice, and that's not good. But it's not, and it's very easily fixed. So it's very easily fixed. So they were all lying to you all those years.
And now we know. That was a lot of years of lies that Jennifer just fixed for us. And the shame thing.
All the tips she gave us were so great.
The shame thing.
Damn! I thought you said I liked the tip. I was like, I like playing that game too.
This is a different show.
Just a little bit.
All right.
Just a little bit.
Just a little bit. Just a tip.
So I definitely feel like we learned a lot from Jennifer today. And Tommy also like enlightened us on some things, and we know that Tommy has an awesome sex life, so I need to talk to Christine some more so I can find out more things that I can do, because I'm having fun.
Why not? Well, should.
You should.
And Jennifer brought us to a place where like, and then Jen, we gotta get on the page so we can get
shower time
her stuff.
Get
shower time.
I know, always
Start bringing shit in the shower, man.
It's worth it. We've been together for 15 years. 16
Okay, so this is my thing with the shower, though. So I have a strict, you stay the fuck out of my shower policy.
No, and you're like a compulsive showerer, right? Don't you take 3 showers a day?
I want my shower to be my space because I don't want to be freezing in the shower.
No, you put the water.
Because I have been with some selfish people that will hog that shit up, and then Audrey's just standing there with fucking shivering, going, there's nothing pleasurable about this right now. Like, I'm fucking freezing. I want you to get the fuck out so that I can take a shower.
See, we do it differently.
You need a different shower. I feel like that was a bad experience. You need a do-over because it's so much better than that.
Well, I think women
do-over.
Women generally take longer in the shower, so let them. What we do is Christine will go first, get herself ready, or get cleaned up, do what she has to do, and then it's like, okay, now I'll come in, because I don't want to stand there like an idiot.
Oh my god! But then you got to get cleaned up again.
Yeah, it's true. That is true. You do have to get cleaned up again.
You were prepared for me. I love it.
Exactly.
You are so swelling amazing. There is no sweat on you anywhere. Oh no, I like to lick up that sweat. Thank you very much.
There you go. We're learning a lot today on Rule 42.
Oh wait, yeah.
An enlightening
so
episode.
Up Jennifer.
Oh yeah, we're wrapping up, and now we just went down a different rabbit hole. Now
we just our rabbit hole turned into what we like. So on that note, thank you, Tommy, for your enlightening blue balls conversation. Thank you, Jennifer, for being a guest. Thank you, Jen, as always, for being my right hand. And this is Audrey from Rule 42, and we have had an amazing day with Jennifer on this awesome, where the fuck today is.
I don't even.
Rule 42, bro.
1, 2, 3, 42.
Rule 42 is hosted by Audrey Cruz and Jen Burke. It is produced and edited by Tom Smith. The opening song is Rule 42 by Eddie Carr. Rule 42's artwork was created by Aubrey Cruz. And I'm your announcer, Molly Smith. Thank you for listening to Rule 42. We hope you enjoyed the show. New episodes premiere every Thursday on all podcast platforms. Please subscribe, share the show, and leave us a 5-star review on Apple.